Hello out there and welcome. My name is Sharon Froshin and I am the Chief Operating Officer for the DiscoverYourPathU platform, where we believe that every life can teach and everyone can grow. To that end, I am also the host of this show, The Connection Sessions, in which we bring together practitioners, entrepreneurs, artists, marketers, business professionals, mentors, students, and spiritualists to connect to community, learn from each other, and grow. And today I have with me somebody that I personally look up to, someone that I have watched go through quite a bit of change in her own life. And she has found a way to use her own journey to help transformation take place in the lives of others. I am so excited to introduce Sieta Jones, who has an incredible blog on Facebook that she uses about how her life is changing, what she's been through, and how you too can do the same. So Sieta, if you wouldn't mind just sharing with us how you came to do this blog and what this has done for you personally and professionally.
Hi Sharon. It started my journey back in 2015 when I met a wonderful lady called Angesh through having a tarot reading. And I suffered from anxiety, and I used food as a way of comfort. Also, mum to just shut me up sort of fed me, and I was happy because I was eating all the wrong stuff. As life went on, my weight increased, so I became less active and blah, 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 and I came more and more into my own being. I met my husband through work and stuff, but didn't really have a life because the confidence was a real issue. Anyway, fast forward to 2015, and I saw a television program where Angesh was mentioned, and she does like future life and tarot readings and stuff. And my husband said, how about going to her? Which I was really amazed and pleased, because I love the whole spiritual thing and I believe in fate. So I went and said, you've been brilliant mum, wife, blah, 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 but I see you trapped at home. And she said, what I mean by that is you want to get out there, you want to experience stuff. I see you listening to people, you have that ability to let people talk. And I love listening to people's stories and supporting and encouraging. So she said, well, how about doing like a counselling course? So I phoned up, but I think because it was somebody other than my husband who's always believing in me, but hearing it from an outsider, it's like, wow. So I went and I phoned up and I booked for the following September. Totally out of my comfort zone, really scared, but like, oh my God, this is new life kind of thing that could be starting. So I went, and really quiet, because it's scary talking to people that one-to-one's fine, but in groups it's like you ordered that judgment and the whole thing.
Yeah.
But anyway, I went and I felt so elated and amazed that little me could do it. It was like it's the first step of taking on this long staircase, but one step at a time, and it really was one step at a time. But yeah, through the counselling course, you have to have therapy yourself. And I went, and oh my gosh, that was like a door opening into, or like a treasure chest, and you got the key and you open it and all these old emotions and feelings come out.
Yeah.
And it hits you in your face and you think, wow. But the feelings that you get, I couldn't identify, but talking it through with somebody, you can make sense and unravel that ball of wool. I got so far, and then I went back to Anne for another reading. And I said, I know that I've got something give people, but I don't know what. And this is when I was just walking out, and she went, do a blog or something. And I'm like, do a blog or something? What could I do a blog about? And then I was just sitting here, and suddenly I looked down at the size of my stomach, and I thought, oh, my health, get people on board with me. And I think it was May the 17th, 2017, and that's where my blog was born from. And I've just done daily updates, and I sort of went back, I put weight on, I lost it, I put it on, and it's like a bit of but I'd suddenly got in the right mindset, and it's all that, the right mindset of pushing, and it's just the amount of support I've got from people. People are saying that I inspire them. I'm inspired by other people, obviously. And it's just doing things out of your comfort zone, because then you grow when you are out of your comfort. Even if you make a mistake, cock it up, whatever, it doesn't matter. You're human. It's real. Yeah, I put weight on some weeks, comes back off. But that's life, isn't it?
It sure is.
It's just toing and froing. But the joys of, the other day I managed to put a normal sized bath towel around me, around my fat belly. I haven't done that since I was probably about 6 years old.
Wow.
And
that's what I love about you on your blog, and I've been following it for quite some time.
Thank you.
Your authenticity with your readers. You put on no airs. I've seen several weight loss coaches before where it's all pictures of the gym and look what I did today. And the inference in that is, you didn't, so come find out from me how to make you better. And you have this gentle, loving authenticity to you that just makes people want to strive because you are and because you're sharing it. And it's not that judgmental type of change. It's that type of change where we're literally just getting to go along on the journey with you. And there's something that's so precious about that.
Thank you.
I love it. How do you take your passion for listening to other people, and how have you included that as a part of your blog?
I think because I've struggled for so long with my weight, and you can say to people it's hard, and they go, yeah, I know, and it's just trying to doing it as a collaboration, I think, is easier when you know that it is blooming hard.
Yes.
But when you're encouraging each other, you get into a positive spiral, not a negative one.
Indeed.
And I funny enough, through Anne, she does this interviewing slot called Time Slip, and she had a guy on there called Steve Miller, who he's trained in hypnosis, but with overweight people, he helps encourage, and that's his business. He's very, very, very straight talking. I love him. He makes me laugh. He tells it how it is. And it's so, the words that he used, the buzzwords, if that's what you call them these days, he gets to the core.
Yes.
And to me, it's facilitating me on my journey. Like, one of his sayings is, "You're too gorgeous to be fat."
Mm.
Now, you might think, but it's true. I've not had that much self-worth, that value before.
But isn't it interesting when we haven't had, not only do we not have it now, but it's never been encouraged in our lives from our families of origin, from the friends that we choose, to all of a sudden have somebody enter our lives that encourages us to open up like a flower and bloom, and just the freedom that comes with that.
Yeah, freedom. Yeah. Do you know that's such an important word for me, because you're not caged. It's like a caged bird where you're given snippets, you're given crumbs, and it can be given to you, but then for me, taken away.
Yeah.
Like a family member saying you're not worth it.
Yeah.
You're not worth that value, and you believe it. But when you come out and you're an adult, you think, well, excuse me, but I am worth it. Sharon, believe me, I would never have used these words 2 years ago. Yeah, I still feel it uncomfortable, but I'm getting more comfortable.
And it's such a beautiful process to watch. It has been so much fun watching you go from, you were so quiet and inwardly drawn when you began this blog. And I have literally watched you almost like the clouds crossing across the sun. And as they move away, that light explodes back out into the world again. That's what this journey has been like for me as the observer on this side of it, is watching those clouds kind of start to move out of your path so that people can actually see you. And one of my favorite hashtags that you use, and I've told you this over and over again, is my flab jacket.
Yeah.
Because there's something that's so irreverent, and it just takes all of the intensity that we place as a society on, oh, I have to look this way. And you're kind of just like, you know what, screw it.
Yeah.
I'm just going to do the best I can. And that's so freeing for other people.
Yeah. It's also with my flab jacket, it was literally tight, restrictive, you just want to get it off, excuse me, and live my life. But when I mean, I'm still fat now, but not as fat, thank goodness. But I couldn't eat out. I couldn't run. I couldn't do anything. And seeing people doing marathons and running about with their kids, I've never done it with mine, really, because I didn't have the puff, I didn't have the energy. And I thought, oh gosh, one day I'd love to do a run. And I've chosen Road Victims Trust as my charity because I did my agency visit with them, and I was going to become one of their volunteers. But I think health and doing something for you and encouraging people that you can, doesn't matter how big you are, if you get into that mindset that you want to do something, and somebody believing in you, valuing you, the world's your oyster, you can do it. And I now believe that I can do it, and I will do it.
So I just want to share with the viewers, as Sieta shared with me before we went on the air, she is actually going to be doing a 10K run. So why don't you share with us, Sieta, how did that come about, and when will you be running or walking?
I'm running on the 21st of July, and it came about because I wanted to do something, and it just came up on my newsfeed. Facebook is brilliant, social media is brilliant for just,
isn't it?
Fate again, it popped up, and Road Victims is who I did my agency visit with. And even though I'm not going ahead with my counselling now, as in the classical counselling thing, I want to do more health-wise with it. I thought, what a brilliant way of giving back to a local charity, of helping road victims that unfortunately, through whatever, they lose a loved one, colleague, friend, whatever. I want to help people, and that is helping people. It's a personal challenge for me. I couldn't run a bath before, Sharon, believe you me. So doing this,
the best lines I've ever heard.
Oh, doing this is just it gives me so much joy that my little legs can carry the weight that I am. I've lost just over 3 stone now, and I feel great. I did with a friend of mine, Kerry, we did a run last Thursday of the actual 10K for the first time ever, and I cried, because it is
So proud of you.
when you haven't been managed to do anything and you do, the emotion just comes up. You can't stop it. It's got to come out, and it's just, wow, did I seriously do that?
Girl, yes, you did.
And it's amazing the feelings and the achievement and the transformation, like you say. It really does just opens your soul to allowing other things in, I think.
Yes, it does. And in our society, people who are overweight are shamed so thoroughly that you're left as a member of society who maybe isn't struggling with your weight, with the overall idea that people who are overweight are not of any value, and that no real expectations should be placed upon them because they don't have the willpower to do X, Y, or Z.
No.
So to have a blog in which you see someone who is struggling with their weight but is breaking right out of those societal contracts that we put on them is so beautiful, because if you can do it, then perhaps the female who's worried that she's never going to break the glass ceiling in a man's world can decide that if Sieta can do it, I can do it. Or the child who may have been raised with a disability and is worried that they'll never be able to read or to speak in front of people can look at you and say, if you can do it, then so can I. And the way that you share this with such authenticity and grace just lends itself to encouraging people to stretch beyond their limits.
Thank you.
I love it.
Thank you. That's what I want, is just for people that couldn't, you can't, I can't do that. You can. And if you have that one person that says you can do it,
Yes.
it's like they want to please that one person, and then it builds, and then it just goes to a wider and wider spectrum. And it's like, I just love walking on this staircase now. My next challenge, my challenge next year is a skydive, because I'll be lighter, it's freedom, I'm like a bird. Nothing now is going to keep me caged. And it's just, I've met wonderful people, you, your group, other life coaches. I get loads of stuff, wisdom, knowledge from each and every one of you, because you all are on my path for me to learn something. And that's how I'm grateful, I'm blessed, because a whole new world. There is a world out there that,
Yes.
if you're open to it, the opportunities, the possibilities just come. It's amazing, Sharon. I love my life again. Well, when I
That's
was
inspiring.
when I was a child, I wanted to be dead, because it was nothing was growing, and it was a desolate place, and it would have been easier. But had I not had that experience as a kid, I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing now. So I'm grateful for that as well. And it's that however bad life gets, whatever situation you're in, it's only temporary. Okay, it might be temporary for 30 years, 5 years, a month, a week. It's only temporary, and it changes. And I have learned. My kids didn't have my childhood, so I've learned to break that cycle, and they're free. they might be my kids. I don't own them. They're their own free spirits. I'm there to pick up pieces. I can encourage, I can help, but they're not mine. They're not. They've been given to me to be a mum and send them on their way to hopefully be decent human beings.
And that's so important, because I'm not a parent myself. One of the reasons I'm not a parent is because I was truly terrified that I would do the opposite of what you have done, which is I would pass on to my children the childhood that I had growing up, and that I would end up damaging a perfectly viable young human being and creating a mini me, which I don't ever want anybody to go through the childhood that I went through. And it's so important. And this is another part of yourself that you share with your audience, that if something has been difficult for you in this life, the number one priority for us as a parent isn't, send them to a good school, dress them in the right clothes, give these material things. It's, how do I let you benefit from the lessons that I've already learned? And you do that so beautifully, Sieta.
Thank you. And again, it's like living with a mother who bullied. And when you're growing up, you don't realise that you're living with somebody who's a bully.
Yeah.
And it's when my son was severely bullied, it rolled things again up within me. And I've actually written, I haven't got it published, but I've written a picture book, because I'd like to get into schools of nursery age, and it's to show the kids of how to treat other kids. So it's between 3 children. There's a fat kid in it, because if you're overweight, a lot of kids go for that. He wears glasses and he's ginger. So I've gone for all the things that kids get picked on.
Yes, we do out there. Gingers get picked on, everyone.
And it's not the outer. For what I've put in the book is that, so all these kids have been, that they pick on, blah, 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 blah. And then it's 2 sisters and Charlie. His name's Charlie, because that's another name that I was white Charlie, and it's like, how would you feel if it was you that was being picked? And it's trying to do it in the gentle, well, how does that make you feel? What does that make you think? I'm wondering if, but to make them reflect on what they're saying. And then they put that all their wishes of, I wish people were nice to me, whatever, in this magical cauldron. And overnight, these kids start to get nice, and their wishes have been granted, if you like. And then overnight, the cauldron disappears, and it's like, because now you're sorted and everything's fine, it's now gone to help another child. And if kids can just be nicer to one another as children, that will then filter through, hopefully, into teens and adults. But who knows? But that's my aim, is to get this book published too.
I absolutely love that. What an awesome idea to start with the younger generation, to catch them before they've become these bullying adults who, because it is really hard working with, especially somebody who has no underlying sense of self-esteem. So they gain all of their esteem from cutting the legs out from under other people. And it's not that they're bad people. It's, that's what they were taught at home. That's all they really know. And by the time a life coach or a hypnotist or an NLP practitioner gets to them, that is a tough nut to crack.
Yeah.
It really is. So catching them at that age is brilliant, Sieta, absolutely brilliant. And I'm looking here and realizing that once again our half hour has disappeared so fast. I just want to take a moment and thank everybody who came in today. I want to thank Kim, Ed, Susan, Andrea, Stephen, Tanya, everybody who came here and just heaped a bunch of praise on you here in the comments, which you absolutely deserve, Sieta. You have made quite a transformation with your life, and you have certainly been instrumental in the transformation in mine. So thank you for creating a blog that provides a community in which everyone who is struggling can learn and grow from each other, which is basically the underlying philosophy for the Discover Your Path U platform. So to everyone who is here watching today, thank you so much. And if you do catch this video after we're no longer live, do us a favor and drop a hashtag replay in the comments. And if you hear something, and honestly today, I'm going to have a hard time believing that you didn't hear something that you think is of value or that somebody that you know could enjoy or could use, please go ahead and take this video and share it and make sure that what Sieta is creating in her own life gets spread out like the ripples from a pebble into water, so that this kind of authenticity and this kind of growth becomes a regular pattern of behavior for all of us. So thank you, Sieta. Thank you to our viewers, and we will see you tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. And as always, guys, mwah, love you.
Thank you very much.